Alright you lot, you're of course always welcome to watch this video, but this is here to suggest that it might not have that much visual value to it. This is very much a talky video, so if you want to save yourself some time and do something else, this would be the kind of thing that you might want in the background, whilst you're making yourself a sandwich or something like that. Right, on with the video. Things on the whole stay in a kind of plane, a kind of similarly that sort of nears along and goes bit like that. But every now and then something happens, a furore raises itself from the earth and happens, and every time then I make some kind of inflammatory video, people say, I don't like you, and then everybody shuts up for a little bit until it then happens the next time. I thought, this time, seeming as it's another of those times where people are up in arms again, not entirely sure why, I'd instead do this on a more personal and live sort of level, while I'm doing a bit of Heavenly Tower. I mean, I think, why not? I've been sent some messages, which means one message, and we're going to read it very slowly. It's not anything particularly new. It's going back to the old kind of arguments that I never really thought were very true or had much credibility to them anyway, but I guess it's good to address now and then, especially without a script, because the last time I wrote a script, everybody thought it was rubbish. So we're doing this a bit scriptless, so I apologise for any old gaps in what I'm saying. Just think of them as dramatic effect. What I'd like to do is read a message I got sent in the form of a video rather than reading it to myself, apart from the screen, and just sort of cry to myself. We're going to do it all together, so let's try and find out who we've been sent this by. We've been sent it by a series of letters and numbers that I'm not going to try and pronounce. So, right, let's have a look, shall we? Oh, Regit, you used to be so innocent and carefree. I was skipping about the countryside like a happy little boy, I was. I see now that you have changed. I mean, the ambience for me at the moment is brilliant. You won't have this, but I'm listening to, what is it? The Fortress theme of New Super Mario Bros. And it's like, it's really foreboding. Ba-da-da. You see now, you too have changed. You may say no, you may say yes. But whatever you say, your personality has changed so much since 2016. You used to be genuinely happy with YouTube, but now it just feels like you're only doing it because you have to. I know you probably need the money to provide for yourself, but come on, man! Why do you always have to say something relating to it? It just doesn't feel right. Addressing another matter, you also seem to not really enjoy Battle Cats anymore like you used to. Now, you may say you do, but you're really just lying to yourself. Compared to 2016, you're not the same. Sure, you may have more skill now. Doubt it, I've forgotten to even go in the level. But does that really matter? As of the present time, you seem to just play Battle Cats. Because, like YouTube, you have to. Most of your fans only watch you for Battle Cats, which is most likely the primary reason why you have to keep doing it. Please, do whatever you wish to. Your deeply devoted fans will stay with you. I really want you to become a better person. Why aren't you like what you once were? Can't you see what has changed in you? Please improve, Regit! Pensive emoji! Now, reading through that in my sort of melodramatic voice, which I must admit I quite enjoyed actually, I can see a certain ring of truth to some of that, but some of it I'd also like to talk about. So let's begin the talkie, because I'm going to go through this paragraph and talk about most of the different things and how I see most of the different things. So, oh Regit, you used to be so innocent and carefree. Now, back in the past, I wouldn't say that I was innocent or carefree, to be fair. I would just say that I had more of an enthusiasm because back then the channel was taking off more, I was getting more and more people, it was more positive, it was exciting, and I was enjoying making the content. So I guess some of this has that ring of truth that I was saying about here. So, I see now that you've changed. I mean, I probably have. Everything changes. I don't like change. Some of you may not like change. Change is usually pretty bad. I'd say I have. We all have. My voice is a bit lower now. And now I have a good appreciation for video game soundtracks. I know you probably need the money to provide for yourself, but come on, man. Well, I don't, as of the moment. Now, I think I've said this quite a few times, but I haven't actually spent any of my ad revenue, apart from the ad revenue I made from the charity stream, which has gone to charity. More on that in a WikiHow video that I'm planning. Ooh, I'll let you know where that's gone to, and it's not gone to me. Stop making that joke, it's not very funny. Why do you always have to say something relating to it? It just doesn't feel right. Well, here's the thing. I don't feel like I'm always saying something relating to it, but it's a trend that I'm beginning to see more and more with people making these comments. I say about this thing partly to let you in on the world and know that I'm not making Jake Paul amounts of money from my videos. I make sure I ask people what the ad rates should be, and that's mostly happy return, and some of the people who said they weren't happy the ad rates wanted more. That's fine, so I just keep that to that general rule, and I don't think that's what many people take an issue with. I guess there's someone now and then. But I think it's people taking an issue with me sometimes talking about these little references that I make to ad revenue and things like that. I did it before taking inspiration from other people who had. I mean, I thought it had a degree of humour to it, and I assume at least some people found them funny at some point. But another reason I do it is to let you into the world, as I reckon I've just sort of been saying. Like, letting you know about what the feeling is, and the fact that principally what I'm doing with the ad revenue that's being made is trying to save it up. Putting it in saving accounts is literally pretty much all I do with it. Not that the rate of interest makes any kind of improvement to the money these days, but I'm a child of the financial crash. I guess that's just what happens. I haven't actually spent any of it, and all of it is going into live off in the future, because I don't like going outside. I'm not very good at interacting with people. Something that I'd really love to be able to do is YouTube. But then through that, I think some people are right in the fact that now I see it as this video hasn't done very well, or I'm not too happy about that one, Blizzard. And I think, oh, what's the point? My videos aren't going to do well. I'm never going to be able to make a living out of this. And it does sap some of the enjoyment away. But I think this is very much an irreversible reaction, sadly. Once you sort of start getting into the monetization aspect of it, it becomes a lot more businessy, and you find it a lot more difficult to be able to enjoy it as when you were first putting out content. Now, something I still really love is to go on a video and look for these nice comments, these witty comments, these great comments that are like, lol. I especially like ones that quote things I've said from within the video. Someone once said, if you want to get a creator heart, quote something, Regit said, and I thought, actually that's probably true. I mean, I love seeing that. The negative stuff, I mean a lot less, and usually the top comments are all just like, I rolled this Uber. I mean, good for you, that's fascinating, but I don't really feel like that's particularly interesting, but good for you anyway, congratulations. But it's nice to see comments now and then being like, good video, or I like what you've done here, or that made me laugh. I get the occasional Discord message being like, your video made me chuckle, and I'm like, cheers, I like it when I make people chuckle. That enjoyment I don't think will ever go away, but I think I'm seeing less of that than I did before. Maybe this is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Maybe what this person is saying here is true because of the fact that I've become less enjoyable to watch. I don't know. Sorry if I have, but I guess that's the thing, really. I definitely know that I make fewer and fewer videos on the course of what I want to make a video about. This being the rare occasion where I am sort of thinking I should make a video about that. I'd like to, rather than this thing's in the update, should probably make a video about that. But that's the YouTube rat race, as Azuma called it, and that's just how it works. And I'm trying to facilitate as best I possibly can a future life on the platform. Now, I don't actually think I'm going to be able to achieve it, but it would be nice to be able to achieve it, and at the very least to have it so that maybe I only have to do something else minor in addition, so that I can continue to do this and spend as much time as I can at home, preferably all my time at home, because that's where I feel a lot safer. I think it wouldn't be false to argue that that's made me not quite as happy as I was. But I mean, back then I definitely wasn't happy. I was in my old school. It was dreadful. But I think getting home in those days was a lot more sort of triumphant and nice and cosy and warm. I'm back. I'm not there anymore. That horrible place, I'm gone from there. But I mean, now that I'm in a nicer place, the difference between home and away isn't quite the same. So I think possibly my enthusiasm's gone down a bit. So maybe I need to like go back to my awful old school to appreciate how much better home is. That's a philosophical idea called necessary contrast. And maybe there's some truth to that. But I mean, I'm definitely not going back. And unfortunately, that's just the way that it's going to be. And I don't think I can train myself to be happier. I can try and be more jovial and edit out bits where I'm like, usually, unless it's for particular comedic effect. But yeah, I think there's some truth in that. Skill, I agree with that person. I don't think that really matters. I don't think I've increased in skill that much. I mean, maybe. I can do a lot more things all by myself. I think it matters to a certain degree that fewer people complain about it, and I feel a little bit more triumphant. But I don't think in a big picture it matters that much, because I'm still really not that good in the grand sort of open scheme of things. And I think this person's right. And I do play Battle Cats because that's what people watch. A lot of people are like, play something else, expand your channel. I'm like, everything else gets like a tenth of the views that Battle Cats gets. How am I expanding my channel by doing other stuff that clearly no random people are watching? Now, I really like doing the Doki Doki series. Something about that, putting a lot more real life aspects into it and a lot more of my own sort of personal opinions into it, and I love doing that. I love the Laura Mulvey meme, making all of you little amateur media students and going with that visual pleasure and narrative cinema theme. I love all that. I love doing that, and I'd really love if something like that got more views. But unfortunately they don't, so they're sort of rarer and the Battle Cats is more often, because that's all that people watch. I'm not going to say that I'm much better than people and I don't do this myself. I don't watch Chawsy's South Park videos, for example. I didn't watch his Pocket Mortys or any of that. It's still Chawsy. I love Chawsy. But what the video was about didn't interest me, so I still didn't watch it. But maybe we need to think differently on that and give other videos a chance, which is what I've been trying to do, but hopefully that'll just come more as I try it more. But then there's this be a better person thing. I really don't like this sort of be a better person Regit thing. Like, so many people are all sort of condescending, like, Regit, you're a terrible person. Well, I mean, okay, maybe I am a terrible person to some degree, and I think I'm a lot better a person now than I used to be. I used to be an awful person, now I'm maybe just a bad person. And there's no denying that there's places to improve, but there's been so many people who, within themselves, at least I know some, are much worse than me, and of course, a lot more trouble to me than I think I have to them. Mentioning no names, but there was one who was in control of the Discord cat server that was the Battle Cats Discord, as I called it, until I found out that there were more than one of them. And they were like a really horrible person. And they're like, just want you to be better, Regit. Want you to be a better person. Like, you might want to sort yourself out first. Now, I'm all for encouraging people to improve in their own ways, and I think we should encourage other people to improve while we improve ourselves, because it's easier to see the fault in someone else. But equally, you got to start thinking, it isn't just Regit who has this problem. And when you're in the position of making content for or talking to a lot of people, you're gonna not please everyone, and you're gonna be in the position where you upset some people, or some people aren't happy with what you're doing. It's a lot more difficult when there's a lot of people to cater for. Now, I'm sure there's a lot more difficult positions to be in than mine, but it's not that easy. It's very easy to look from down up to the people in power and think, I could do so much of a better job. And I think I'd do a better job than some people have in some aspects. But in other aspects, you think, yeah, this is really difficult. Like, how am I balancing all these things? And you end up doing the same things which you disapproved of before, because that's just pragmatically what works best sometimes. Now, I'm talking in very vague terms, but the point is that you eventually become what you try and ward against. And it just might be worth thinking, in this sort of better person crusading stuff, that it's not quite true, especially this Regit never listens to any advice stuff. Remember that I'm the one playing the game, or more accurately not playing the game, because I've run out of energy. Let's do some material stages instead. I have to be able to replicate what people are saying to do. And you can't just be like, oh yes, someone has said to do this, so I can magically do this myself. That's not how it works. You can't just do it. You can't just get good. I say, how do I beat King K. Rool, the nasty crocodile man in my DK jungle climber that I can't do? Oh, just beat him. Just hit the banana. You know, maybe I can't hit the banana. Maybe I find it really difficult to hit the banana. And that's the problem. Telling me how to do it doesn't necessarily mean that I can do it. And I've got to think about things that I can do. And this is my energy and my account that I'm playing on. And I'm thinking, am I good with this unit? Can I use it in this same way that the person has described? Possibly not. And so I have to be doubtful to some degree and ask questions about these things and be like, can I really do that? Is that really the best example? Why is this thing a good thing to do? So that I know what I'm doing on this one attempt. It's very easy to be a backseat driver and argue to someone that they're not listening to anything you say and they're really obstinate and annoying and they're a very bad person. But in that position, I feel like a lot of you would probably be the same. We can all hold ourselves up to ideals that we plan to be like, but ultimately, would we reach those ideals? Not necessarily, I don't think. We're all, when we get to that field, seeing the yellower grass that we thought was green. Oh, how poetic is that? But I think that's the truth of the matter. You can continue to say that I'm a terrible person who never listens to anyone, but I listen to a lot of people. The fact that I don't want to hear people being nasty, I don't think is too ridiculously outrageous. I'm happy to hear constructive criticism. That's why we've done a whole video addressing this paragraph, and I definitely think there's some truth to it. It does make me think a little bit, but somewhat I also think that it's a bit disingenuous and people need to kind of look at where they'd be put in the same situation. I'm trying to do the best job that I can here because I maintain that I got where I am through luck. You can work really hard as a YouTuber and get absolutely nowhere. This sort of Mr. Beast ethic that, oh, if you just work hard and put interesting titles on your videos, you'll get millions of views. No, you won't. He did a worst intro series. That was where I found him. Good old Sam DFL in the Minecraft days. His worst intros didn't do that well. They were entertaining videos. And then he blew up after that by counting to large numbers. It's complete serendipity. It's an American word, I can't say it. Anyway, it's luck. But I am trying to do the best that I can in this position I've been lucky enough to get to. But you've got to remember that it is difficult. So by all means, suggest things. By all means, be constructive. But please don't be like, oh, you're useless. You never listen to anyone. Screw you. It's about working together and recognising that things are a lot more difficult than we might take them to be. But I think that'll do it for my little chat with you. Sorry for the slightly low production value, just playing a little bit while I was talking, but I wanted to go in depth to my feelings there, and I guess this would have been a nice sort of video to have in the background to what you were doing, maybe. I understand some people do that anyway, and apparently I brought people enjoyment through that, and I'm very glad I have, and I hope I can continue to do that, even though perhaps I wasn't as jovial as I was before. I can try and be jovial, but be happy is not something you can just be, and the YouTube rat race demands certain things of people, and all I'm trying to do is get enough wealth to be able to keep doing YouTube and survive on the cheap for as long as possible. I'm not blowing it on a takeaway every night, I assure you. Anyway, if you'd like to leave anything constructive in the comments, I'd love to see that, probably. Thank you for popping along to this video, listening to it, and I'll see you with some more update stuff. The regularly scheduled Battle Cats rat race back again, after this short diversion to my own Lando feelings. So on that note, I'll bid you goodbye and say, I hope you enjoyed.